Hello. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the stream. I hope you can hear me. I hope so. If so, please let me know that you can hear me. We have a different setup right now. I'm in a different space, but I'm here. Yay. So I have not gone live in a minute. Because I've been traveling and doing other things. But I wanted to come today to talk about imposter syndrome or self-doubt, because I think some people use imposter syndrome and self-doubt interchangeably. And though these things have two different definitions, they still kind of feel the same, right? It's still this like feeling of self-doubt. I'm not enough, all these different things. So yeah, so please let me know that you can hear me, unless I'm talking to myself. But yes, so welcome everybody. Welcome. Yay. Okay. Awesome. Yay. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Marcus. Hi, Powerful Majesty. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so yes, imposter syndrome. So again, people, hi, Miss Fleck 375. It's a tad bit hot. Let me turn it down. Okay. Is this better? Is this less hot? Less loud? I hope so. Got my sound man here, who is Jamile Calpin. But either way, hi everybody. Hope that it's not too loud. But yes, I want to talk about imposter syndrome because I literally, are you still so not right now. Right now I'm at my mother's house. This is the room I'm in. So I am in my mother's room. She is letting us stay with her for a little bit. So that's where we are right now. We literally were on the road for a month. Just got back and resettling, getting rid of things, getting back on track, all this different stuff that comes with moving, because we kind of left everything here, but now we have to go through everything and figure it out. So yeah, so yay. Hi, Picky Girl Travels the World. Hi, Adelia. I hope you're doing well. Hi. Hola, everybody. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, good. I'm not hot anymore. Okay, wonderful. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I want to talk about imposter syndrome. Okay, and so imposter syndrome, I feel like, again, people use interchangeably with like doubt. And it's not necessarily, it's kind of the same thing, but not really. Imposter syndrome and doubt kind of go hand in hand, right? So imposter syndrome is more like, oh, I had a success and that was a fluke. Like, nah, that was a fake. It wasn't really real. Like, I'm not really good enough. Like, they're going to find out that I'm an imposter, right? Self-doubt is more like, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I'm capable. I don't think I have the skills. All these different things, right? So the definition of imposter syndrome says the persistent inability to believe that one's success is deserved or has been legitimately achieved as a result of one's own efforts, right? So that's the definition of imposter syndrome. So again, you get the bid and you're like, oh God, I don't know. Or somebody buys your album and you're like, I don't know, is it really good? Or, you're getting followers wherever you are, like, and you're like, I don't know. And I've dealt with these feelings a lot. And I blame society, and I'll get to that in a second. But either way, how's everybody? Hope you're doing good and welcome. Okay, cool. So if you struggle with imposter syndrome or doubt, please share because you're not alone. But yes, so imposter syndrome is like a collection of feelings of inadequacy that persists despite evident success. So again, I got the job, I got the raise, somebody signed up for my program, and it's just like, can I do this? I don't know, right? Like, am I good enough? I feel like a lot of us struggle with that feeling of enoughness, because who determines what the marker is for enough? That's the question I'm asking tonight, right? So who determines whether or not you are enough? Who determines what enough is? And I feel like once we change our relationship to enough and the people who create the facade of what enough is, I feel like then that's when we start to become free and start to see ourselves as capable and as successful individuals. Okay. So again, some things that people might say that they struggle with imposter syndrome is like, who am I to do X, Y, and Z? Who am I to try this thing? It could sound like I'm not good enough to X, Y, and Z. It could sound like last time was a fluke. I don't know if I can do it again, right? Like this success was fake. I don't know if I can do this again. Y'all, excuse me, I'm like breathing hard. What's going on? So I think we all face it at some point in our lives, right? And so especially starting a new venture or maybe having a new position, title, whatever it is, We all feel like we're not good enough. We all doubt ourselves. And for some things, I think it's okay to doubt yourself. I think it's okay to doubt your ability. And I'll tell you why, because if I'm trying something new that I've never tried before, to expect myself to be successful at the first try, to expect myself to be a professional the first time I do something is kind of unrealistic, right? Like, we tend to not have grace with ourselves. We tend to want ourselves to be at the finish line before we even get started. You haven't even walked, right? Let alone run, and you want to get in this race and win. Like, that's not realistic. But we can change our language, the way that we talk to ourselves, and say, you know what? I'm a beginner, and it's okay. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be good. You don't have to be good at everything you try. Imagine that. You don't have to be the best. You don't have to be a professional, right? You don't have to be the best one. You can just try it. You can play sports without wanting to be a professional sports player. You can insert whatever here. You can write without wanting to publish a book or to be a New York's best time seller. And that in itself is kind of scammy, and I'll get to that in a second. But yes, but it's okay if you're not the best. It doesn't mean that your value goes down. Even if you are the worst soccer player on earth. I don't know why that came to mind, but if you're the worst soccer player on earth, the worst what I'm doing right now, live caster, whatever they call this, it still has no bearing on your worth. And the problem is that we tend to associate how good we are at something to our worth and our value. But the truth is that our worth and our value is inherent. It can't change. It doesn't go up or down based on whatever it is. You are worthy. Hard stop. You're worthy. And so if we walk into new situations, new experiences with this understanding that we're good enough, period, no matter if I fail at something, no matter if I lose a client, no matter if I lose my job, no matter if, I get a divorce, whatever it is, like if you walk into a situation knowing that you're already worthy, then it doesn't hit as hard. It still may suck, right? Because feelings are real, but it might not hit as hard if we say, you know what, this has no bearing on my value or my worth. So that's first. Hi. Yeah, hot mic. Sorry, y'all. I mean to come in hot. Hello, Benson. Oh, thank you. I'm a little shaky. I don't know why. I haven't streamed in like a month. And that imposter syndrome came up in my mind. I was like, I don't know if I should do this. I haven't done this in a long time. What if I'm stumbling over my words, which I am? And so what? Here I am. So I appreciate y'all. I love your authenticity. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Hi, Auntie Lou. Feed your inner chef. Hello. Hey, Tiffany. Hi. Yes, imposter syndrome. Listen, you are not alone, okay? Because I struggle with it as well. Auntie Lou, yes, I'm learning to be good enough for me. Absolutely. If you're good enough for your own taste, and we'll get to that in a second, you're building your own taste, then that's good enough. I know people who go to like paint and sips, and I love those things because no one is in there trying to be Picasso, right? No one's in there trying to be the best painter. They're just there to have a good time. And a lot of times we don't approach things just because it's fun. We approach things already trying to be good at it. And so that takes the joy out of the thing anyway. You know what I mean? So why would you try something new if at every time you try something new, you have to be good, right? That's too much pressure. It's too much weight. It's okay to be bad. It's okay to be a beginner. And it's okay to enjoy your thing even if you're bad at it. I'm going to keep saying that. Get bad hobbies. Get hobbies that you're bad at because it'll let you know that like you're allowed to be human. You're allowed to enjoy things for enjoyment's sake. I feel like in this country, everything is so wrapped up in production, like productivity, production, money. What can you do for me, right? Like, how can this benefit somebody else? When we don't really take on new things just to do it. Or people are living for Instagram, right? People are living for social media. People aren't living because they want to live. They're living for a photo op, right? And so if their lives aren't curated well, if they're not able to be digested well on social media feeds, then somehow we feel like we're not living, right? And so we're almost living, but not really. We're living for other people's approval and likes and thumbs up, but we're not living for our joy. We don't got to post everything we do, right? But the society we live in is like, if you don't post it, it's not real. Like that kind of thing. We're always looking for validation from somebody. But what if that validation came from inside? You know what I'm saying? Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Alicia. Here with my grands. Hi, grands. Welcome. They're going to martial arts practice. Have fun. One day I'm going to try to learn martial arts just to just to have fun. Hope I don't have to use it. Auntie Lou says, I paint for therapeutic reasons right now. Later on, it might change to something more. Yeah, maybe. And I love that you're saying maybe, right? Because you're not putting all this pressure on it to be something right now. It's okay to paint for therapeutic reasons. I do the same thing, and I can't paint, but I love, like, I can't paint in a way that people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. I paint to be like, oh, this feels good against this canvas, right? And that's enough. It's good enough. Hi, I am Ashanti. Please correct me. Hi, so happy I finally made it to one of your live sessions. I'm happy you're here. Yeah, I haven't gone live in a month and a half. I've been moving, I've been traveling, and I finally got some time to sit down and I got something to say. So I figured, why not power up the live stream and go ahead. Also, your verbiage has slipped into my vocabulary. I now use your expression, two things can be true at the same time. Absolutely. Like when you discuss things that aren't mutually exclusive. Absolutely. Two things can be true at the same time. Nuance, right? Everything is not black and white. Some things are gray. You know what I mean? Okay. So yes. So we all face it at some point, a new venture. Even celebrities that we look up to, they struggle with imposter syndrome too. I remember, who was I listening to? I forget. Either way, this is really esteemed and acclaimed artist, and they still struggle with feeling like they're good enough. Like, in a lot of ways, because they are celebrities, they feel the pressure to keep that celebrity going. They feel the pressure of having to remain likable, having to remain enjoyable, digestible, right? Understandable, right? And so because they are so famous, they have less wiggle room, to move and to create, because they have to please their audiences that they built over all this time. They're unable to move and grow, right? They have to be who their audience wants them to be. And if you step outside of that, then you're at risk of losing your money, the following, the glitz, the glam, all the things, Let's see. Are you in the States? Yes, I am. I am in the States. I am. I just got back from a road trip. We stayed in a car and hotels, all the way to California and back. And so now we're back. Now we're back on Eastern Standard Time. Yay. Yes. Okay. All right. And so for me, when I experience imposter syndrome, or this idea that like the success that I've had is fake, or I can't maintain it, or something's wrong with me, right? What happens is I self-sabotage. I destroy it. I stop doing it. I stop showing up because I'm like, I can't do this anymore. The pressure's too hot. And it's like the people who are supporting you, who enjoy your stuff, they're not giving you that pressure. It's me. It's all me, because I feel like if it's not good, it don't count. If it's not excellent, it doesn't count. And I partially blame my education. Shout out to PG County. Love PG County, Maryland. But being in the tag program, I think really kind of screwed me up mentally. I, approach things to where I have to be the best at something. If I'm not the best at something, I stop doing it. If I'm not the best, then it's not good enough, right? If it's not ideal, then it's not good enough. And I think it's because in that program, you're hailed as the best. I hate that, right? I hate it. I hate saying that now, but that's what it is. You're hailed as the best. You're hailed as like, oh, you guys are like the top tier. You're the cream of the crop. You're the cream of the crop of the students here. And though I don't believe that now, I believe that if we gave every student the same attention, then every student can be the cream of the crop. And if we taught them how they learn, every student could be the cream of the crop. I think that mindset, and I never thought myself better than anybody. I never thought of myself like that. But looking back, I felt the pressure of having to be excellent because I'm in this program and I have to be excellent, right? So yes, exactly. The gifted students. Exactly, right? It's like a gift and it's a curse because now we're adults and we're like debilitated. Like we can't do anything because we're afraid of failing. We're afraid of letting people down. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, excuse me. The TAG program is, yes, talented and gifted. Absolutely. The talented and gifted. And some people in different counties call it the gifted and talented. It's like it's supposed to be like the smartest kids. I don't know. Again, I'm saying this, but it's supposed to be the smartest kids in the county. I don't believe that that's true. Don't believe that that's true. And so a lot of us are messed up because of it. A lot of us are messed up because of this pressure that was put on us at 12, 11, 10. I think I went to the TAG program in second grade. How old is that? That is 7 years old. From 7, I think 7 or 8. So from 7 or 8, I have been groomed and pushed to be excellent at everything I do. At everything I do. And at the time, I didn't know, but of course, like the county's getting more money based on how successful I am in class. So their money is riding on my back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, anywho. So some people slipped in and I wasn't able to say hi. Hi, Wingable 500. Welcome. Good to see you. Tia Ford. Hi. Hi. Baltimore in the house. Hey, I see you. Yeah, we actually used to live in Baltimore County. So we left there though, but it was fun. It was fun. University messed me up. Same. Okay, so university is another thing. College, don't recommend for everybody, and it's okay. College really messed me up, especially coming from the TAG program, the Talented and Gifted program in PG County, into college. I realized that I wasn't nothing. Okay, I thought I was smart. In high school, I was making 4.13s straight across the board. And me and Marcus talked about this, how like, where the heck were the scholarships? That's another conversation for another day, because I ain't get no scholarships. I think I got $500 from the governor at the time. Anywho, I went to school and all that high achieving stuff kind of went out the window when I realized there's so much I don't know. And the way that the professors were teaching was in a way that I was not familiar with. And so I really struggled going into freshman year. And so that experience had me questioning my worth, my value. Am I even smart? This is stupid. You know, I'm being taught by white professors who don't look like me, like who are telling me that if I don't do a math equation the same way that they do it, then it's irrelevant. It doesn't, even though we get to the same number, it's not right. You know what I'm saying? So it really messed with my self-esteem heavy. Yes, gifted students. Hi, Barbara. Yes, good to see you. Yes. Powerful Majesty said we had MG program in my state, mentally gifted. Ooh, that's nice. Mentally gifted. See, it's sounding more and more like X-Men. Isn't it? It's giving X-Men. Auntie Lou says, yep, scholarships applied too much pressure on me and I fell out of love with the university and my major, especially being the first in my family to go to college. Absolutely. I get it. And that pressure of being the first, thank God I didn't have that pressure, but that pressure being the first to go to college, I can't even imagine. Like, it's almost like you have to do well. There's no other option, right? Because the whole family is like expecting to come to the graduation, the cookout, and to scream your name. But what if you don't want to do it anymore? Like, what happens? Yay, shout out to y'all, Baltimore. Shout out to y'all. Hey guys, just came in. I'm gonna be more too. Hey. Yeah, English 101 humbled me real quick. Okay. First of all, it's like, but I studied English for 13 years. Like, why am I struggling right now? You know? But again, I do feel like it has to do with the way that they taught too. So it wasn't best for everybody. That's another conversation. Auntie Lou says I was the first to receive a big scholarship and they cared about that more than what challenges I was going through. Absolutely. And I get it. Same. There were so many times I called my mom crying, like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to come home. And then my mom, to fix it, her answer to everything is, you need me to come and get you? You need me to come pick you up? And I'm like, that's not going to help me. But yeah, schooling messed me up. And it really made me approach everything with such, everything had to be so serious. Like, everything was serious. Nothing could be fun. And I even think about recess and how recess is only from kindergarten to 6th grade. And then in 7th grade, when you're 12, I think I was 12 going into middle school, you're not allowed to play anymore. You're not allowed to have fun. You're supposed to know what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to have all the answers. And, I was in, again, the Talented and Gifted program. Then you're supposed to pick your track. And so I went to biotechnology in high school. And that was a mess, right? I think I did pretty well. Did pretty well. But I think I just did that because I thought that was the next step. I didn't really consider what I wanted to do. I was like, no, I have to keep being excellent. And so I wasn't able to choose things to study in high school that I wanted to study. It was more like, no, this is going to get me scholarships. This is the next step. You know what I'm saying? So I have to do this thing. And even on the side, I still did things for fun. I still played sports. I still sang. I still took art classes and stuff for fun, but that was more like electives. It wasn't the serious classes, right? So, okay, yay. Awesome. I'm glad you can hear me. And hi, Farah. Marquita, hi. I miss recess too. I'm about to implement a recess. I'm not even playing because I need to play. Well, damn, do we all have the same origin story? I mean, honestly, okay, we're all here. We're all trying to heal. Auntie Lou says Overachievers Anonymous. Honestly, same. Okay, can I join? Because I'm trying to recover from that. OMG, I did biotechnology too, and then went to college for music just for imposter syndrome to stop me a semester before the end. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I understand. I wanted to study music in college, but I'm glad I didn't. And I'll tell you why. And so let we're not even there yet, but we're here, right? White supremacy. I said it. White supremacy, capitalism, all these things impact everything we do. We don't realize how ingrained it is in society, right? So I had friends who studied music in college and actually lost the love of music altogether because of their white professors telling them that their music was not legitimate, or that the way that they played was not good, right? If it wasn't classical, if it wasn't within this box, then it didn't count as good enough, right? And so I'm glad that I didn't study music in college, especially at that college. I went to Towson University in Baltimore, or Baltimore County. And so glad I didn't study music there. I studied deaf studies there, though, and that is a whole other thing, because if you know anything about the deaf community, sidebar, there is Black ASL and there is regular ASL. And so even the cultural differences within that, it was awkward to move around. That's a whole other thing. So anyway, so yes, again, if you're not good at something, it's okay. I promise you it's okay. You are not the scum of the earth. It is not the end of the world. And it's okay to approach things with a childlike curiosity. It's okay to approach things as an experiment. This is something I do all the time. When I feel like, oh my God, I want to do this thing, but what if I'm not good at it, right? Then I put it in the frame of it as an experiment. We all had those experiment. If you're here, if you grew up in school, like, public school, excuse me, you had the science fair. And so the science fair, you had to come up with a hypothesis, right? You did research first, you came up with a hypothesis. You had to come up with, trials, you tried things, and you weren't based on whether or not that thing was successful. You were graded based on whether or not that thing was written down, based on whether or not you did it. Now, who won? Okay, that's a whole other conversation, why people won the science fair project. But either way, like, you were okay if you just did the experiment. And I think that if we approached our lives that way, everything is an experiment. It's okay to not know what you don't know. It's okay to not know what you're doing and still do it. And then figure it out along the way, right? So let's talk capitalism. So I was watching, excuse me. That's funny. Man, bringing that tri-board on the school bus, though. Listen, a struggle, okay? And don't let it be raining, all right? All this precious work my mom did. Let's be real. My mom glued all that stuff, made it look really pretty. Oh, shout out to my mom, yo. That's so much labor. We stayed up so many nights putting that science fair project together. Oh my gosh, the terror. But yes, that was work. And it was deaf studies. So deaf, like hard of hearing and deaf. So I studied ASL and deaf culture in college. So learning about American side. Yes. Yeah. And it's okay, because a lot of people ask me that and they hear deaf studies, which makes sense. But no, deaf studies. Yes. White supremacy. Yes. Let me turn my page on my notes because I have thoughts. Okay. So not yesterday. I was watching Adam Ruins Everything. It's a great show. It's kind of depressing sometimes, but he does ruin everything. Okay. Everything. So everything that we think, it's a lie. What does that mean with Carly Red? It's a lie. It was all a lie. I don't have a piece of paper. It was all a lie. So he was talking about the fine art industry and how basically that whole industry is a scam, right? So for all my creatives and artists out there, this one's for you. You're not bad. The market is just white. So basically, listen, okay? Because my mom did all that work, okay? So basically the art industry, the fine art industry specifically, is rigged. It's rigged. So I've always had this feeling when I went into museums and I said, I don't get it, but they said it's good, so I guess it's good. I don't know. This isn't sparking anything in me. You know what I mean? It's I guess. You know what I mean? It's here, so they have to be somebody important, right? And so we're trained to believe that people are more important than what they really are. And I don't mean that they're not important, but that their work is more important than what it really is, right? So I've been in abstract painting, exhibits and things like that. And I've enjoyed some stuff, but some stuff I really am just what? I don't get it. Like the Mona Lisa. I'm gonna be honest. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's oh my God, the most beautiful woman in the world, the one with the mystery. And it's I just see a white woman painted on a thing. On a canvas. That's all I see. And so for me, I thought that maybe I didn't have eyes to appreciate art. that maybe people who go to study art, they get it, they understand the techniques and the methods and all these different things. And I'm like, it makes me feel like it is above, like it's upper echelon, right? Like it's above my understanding, that I'm stupid. I don't understand what art is. So let me just back up, right? And so much like that music, when I was talking about earlier, how my friend studied music, that's the feeling that they had. It's like, wait, I've been playing music all these years. And so now this professor is telling me that because it doesn't sound like Mozart, because it doesn't sound like, again, my understanding of musicians are very limited. Classical musicians, it doesn't sound like Beethoven. It doesn't sound like whoever else makes this music. Then somehow I am not important. I'm not talented, right? And so the same thing happens with music. So anywho, so all of that. So he was talking about how the art industry is rigged in that same way. It's rigged in a way to make you feel like your opinion of art, your understanding of art is less. I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Is basic. Your understanding of art is basic. You low-level poors. You understand nothing. You have no class. You have no taste, right? But the truth is that everybody has their own taste. Everybody can determine what music, what art is good enough for them. But we're taught that our tastes do not matter in this grand scheme of things. So he was talking about a lot of things about art, and I think that we can apply this to life in general. So basically, you know, when people go to like art, when they hold up, what is it? Why is the words escaping me today? Art auctions. They go to art auctions, right? And so people are bidding on art and things like that. When there are people planted in the audience to bid on art, so that it creates this feeling of like, oh, this art must be important. And so it gets other people with money to buy the art. It's all a lie. It's all a scam. Even buying art or putting art in art exhibits, right? For example, and this is like a bad paraphrasing of what he was talking about. So I suggest you go check out that episode. I just watched it today and it blew my mind. Excuse me. But even the buying of art, they even only allow certain people to buy the art because if this person spends all this money on this art, it creates the industry for that art to thrive. Everything is manufactured. Scarcity is manufactured. Importance is manufactured. Talent is manufactured in terms of like capitalism and all that good stuff. All this stuff is fake. All the rules are fake. Everything's a lie. That's how I feel right now. Everything's a lie. Everything is fake. Let's see. Oh, yay. Yes. Adam Ruins Everything is a great show, y'all. It's a great show. And he also provides resources and works cited so that you can go check out the information yourself if you choose to study it. But it really opens your mind to what's happening. And a lot of stuff, like I already knew that was happening, like redlining and the American dream, all this other stuff. But it really opened my mind, the show. Oh, I know that's right, Marcus. Listen, I'm all for your mom honoring her boundaries, okay? She ain't do nothing but buy some supplies. I know that's right. Hey, beautiful people, if you're enjoying the stream, oh yes, please, thank you so much. Please hit the like button if you enjoy it and you want to support me. Yay. Wingwell 500 says 1 line of paint on a board worth $250,000. Woo, that number just kicked me. But yes, like, and we're wondering like, what is it? Like, I don't understand. And because they create that industry, they make like street artists, and I say that because they're making art on the street, like quite literally. Street artists, they make it seem like their art is less than. They make it seem like, oh, this is not high quality art. This is high quality art because it's in our museum, because we curated it, because this white person said it's good enough. You know what I'm saying? And it's not what I'm not trying to do is take anything away from those artists. I'm not trying to take anything away from people who are in museums, things like that. But we have to address the fact that our standards were taught to us. Our standards were fed to us because it helps capitalism, white supremacy thrive, and it keeps us out. It keeps the lay people out by them creating this ecosystem where only a few elite people can win. And y'all already know how I feel about that. So, that girl, hi. Black people have seen better art from inmates. Honestly, true. It's true, right? Like, and again, not a knock on inmates, but like, seriously, like I have friends who can draw very well. I have friends who create beautiful art and they doubt themselves because they're not in these places. Their book is not on the New York's best time seller. Am I saying that right? New York's best time seller, the list. But either way, like even that, right? People can get published and their publishing company buys their book so that it creates the illusion that they've bought a lot of books. Payola, right? Payola exists in the industry, in every single industry. And so even with music, an artist can put out a work of art and their label buys all their music, right? And it's crazy, but the label buys all their music. So now they're number one trending on this song chart. And so we're all listening to it like, this is garbage. This is garbage. But because they know that if the radio plays a song long enough, we will listen to the song and it will get in our ears and be like, you know what? It's not that bad of a song. It's fine. It grows on you, right? Like everything is manufactured. Everything. Once money enters the conversation, yeah, you got to question the thing. Yeah, the show is really good. Crystal Mack said, I've always said that. Who agreed a certain group of people were the experts on art, music, and everything? Exactly. Even, and I'm gonna say this, even school, who agreed? Like we look up to people like these philosophers, right? People who had philosophy, meaning ideas, right? People who had these ideas, and maybe they were tested and maybe they were not, but we study these people like they are experts because they had ideas. And yet we're told that our ideas are not good enough. Why is that? Why is someone hailed for having ideas that may have been later proven wrong, but we're still studying them, right? Like they're experts, like they're somebody amazing, and we're doubting ourselves, and we're not even allowing ourselves to experiment to see if our conclusions are wrong or if we can get to a different conclusion, because we're cutting ourselves off before we even get started, because there's no way in the world that I could be a great painter like Picasso, you know, Monet. Like I could never be an artist like them. So let me not even try. You see what I'm saying? So anywho, so if the people are creating the ecosystem in which these people thrive, right? Then if everybody doesn't look like me, then I'm going to think that people like me don't get to do this. People like me aren't good at this. I don't even try. And so instead of trying to operate within their systems, I got to create a new system. I got to create my own standards. I have to trust my own taste, right? It's okay that I don't like the song, even though everybody else likes it. It's okay. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. It's just my taste. I just don't like it. It's okay if I go to a museum and people are sitting in front of a painting of one line, like really taking it in and like, oh, I see what the artist was trying to do here. And I'm like, I don't get it. I don't understand, right? And it doesn't make me a bad consumer of art. It's just not my taste. And it doesn't make me less than anybody. Less than no one. Calligraphy art. Ty. I've lost money exhibiting in spaces who were trying to be inclusive, but with collectors who were not buying from BIPOC artists. Listen, I believe you. I believe you. It's like, it's one thing to get a chance, right? To be able to be included, using air quotes included. But like, I have thoughts. But like, if you don't exist as an artist in the way that they see that you should exist, then it's really hard when they are the gatekeepers. When the gatekeepers are people who don't appreciate art from people who look like you or who don't have your experience, right? Because it's not even all white people, right? It's really like elitist white folks who determine what is good enough with everything. Literary works, right? Music, art, science, philosophers, right? Because I'm sure that there were other people of color, Black folks, indigenous folks, right? Like Asian folks. Like I'm sure there were other people out there who had better philosophies, possibly, but they won't be able to be studied unless we go out there and go seek them, because this system, this education system, this whatever system determined that it's not good enough. And again, coming back to the education system, I feel like the education system is set up for people to fail. It is set up to fail people. I said it. I believe that college is a scam. I said it. Unless like you're studying to be like a doctor or lawyer. Like, and again, I'm not knocking you if you have a degree. I have a degree too. From my experience, this is what I will say. From my experience, college is more about making money than it is educating you. And they will do whatever they can to make money from you, including not pass you, including make you take these classes you don't need because you took electives in high school already. Why do you need electives in college? I'm here for one reason and one reason only: to get this degree in this discipline and to graduate, to move on. And even the academic spaces, when I hear about Black folks in the academic spaces, and again, I'm talking because I'm a Black woman, it is traumatic for them. Their existence in this space is questioned because they don't look like the people who create the curriculums. They don't look like the people who, give out the diplomas and the awards and all these other things, right? And dare I say, even like HBCUs, y'all, I'm gonna say it. I love HBCUs. I love y'all. And it's not better than or less than or nothing like that. And I understand why HBCUs had to exist, right? Because you had to find a way to include yourself in this system that wants to exclude you. But even in the design of HBCUs, I'm trying to figure out what is so different. I mean, culturally, obviously, yes. But what is so different? How is this tailor-made to fit the people that come to this school who already probably struggle with imposter syndrome, who already probably may come from places that aren't so Black, right? But you're still rearing them in this white system? I don't know. I might lose some of y'all on that. I just have thoughts. Hi, Black American Nomad. Hi, all. Every market is rigged. It's true. It's true. It's all a lie. Every market is rigged. Not even trying to be hyperbolic. There we go. The stock market, biggest market the world has ever known, sells more shares for companies than exist. Ooh, I didn't know that. Glad to catch a stream. I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for sharing that. Yes to the Mona Lisa. I don't get the beauty in that. Me neither. I don't get it. Am I basic? Hi, True Mystique. Hi, welcome. Hermes Addict. I felt the same about the Mona Lisa. Small and kind of underwhelming. Yeah. Like, I'm not going to go to the Louvre. I'm not going to go across the sea to go look at this painting. I'm sorry. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Jess Kofi says, I always felt that, especially in the arts, white artists were able to be mediocre, whereas Black artists had to fight to be the greatest just to be spoken of. Okay, can we talk about that? Can we talk about the need for Black folks and every other person who's not white to have to be twice as good to get half the credit? Twice as good to get or you have to had overcome some serious odds. You had to, be homeless and not have no parents. And despite all that, you used your crayons to make these masterpieces. And now you get a place for the world to see your art, right? It has to be exceptional. Like, you have to be exceptional, which goes back to Black excellence. How we talked about this before and how that is a scam, right? So this idea, Black folks are programmed to believe that their mediocrity is not enough, that them being average is not enough, that average is not okay, when average is fine. Most people are average because that's the definition of average. Most people are at the average mark. Literally, most people are average. And so we're taught that if we are not 30 under 30, if we're not on that list, or the 20 under 20, or, if we haven't made millions of dollars, that somehow we are less valuable, less important than our counterparts who are doing this stuff, who might be just working in a rigged system. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So I agree. Farrah says, my family is so bad at this. If it don't make money, then why do it? Yes. And for one, okay, I kind of understand that, right? Because our parents, their main focus was survival. I understand it, right? But passing on that mindset to me is not helpful. It's not helpful. And granted, we do have privilege in that everything that we do doesn't have to make money, right? So I do acknowledge my privilege in that, but we don't have to adopt that mindset. So when my family says stuff like that, I hear them and I understand where they're coming from. They're coming from a different time and place, and I'm coming from a place of privilege because of the sacrifices that they made. So I understand that. I get it. So true about gaslighting people's opinions and knowledge of art. Absolutely. Because I'm basic at this point. Proud Majesty, LOL, I agree. Look at the Mona Lisa and have never thought it depicted the most beautiful woman in the world. Me neither. I'll be honest. To me, she's just like a regular white woman. I don't know. But again, if that's the standard of beauty, then of course, that's the most beautiful woman in the world, right? Like, if the standard of beauty is a white woman, then of course, I'm not going to feel like I'm the most beautiful person in the world. I'm not going to feel like she don't look like nobody I know, and I know some beautiful people, right? So it's not going to resonate with me. It's not going to hit the same. And the old money and nepotism in the art world, that part. It's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's an elite club that everybody can't get in, because if everybody could get in, then it's not elite anymore and it's not important. That's how they think. They think that if a lot of people come in, then it dilutes and lessens the value of that market. Capitalism. I'm still watching this episode tonight. Thanks, Alicia. You're welcome. You're welcome. I hope you enjoy it. It's really good. Girl, you better speak your speech. Everything's a lie. Everything, okay? Everything. Flames. Also working in corporate America as an artist can ruin your love of what you do. I 100% agree with this. Yes, absolutely it can. Absolutely it can. Oh, Miss Fleck, thank you. Thank you so much for that. I can't see but thank you. I can't see it on here, but thank you so much. Thank you. But I agree. And I thought about working in the world as an artist, like in the corporate world as an artist. And then I was like, you know what? It's a no for me. It's a no. I just want to be able to make art and make a living from it. And then they tell you that you're not allowed to make a living from your art unless you are exceptional, unless you are selling out. I don't know what you sell it if you're making physical art, but like, I'll speak for myself for music. If I'm not on playlists, if I'm not on the Billboard's Top 100, if you're not winning Grammys, if you're not touring, if you're not selling out arenas, then somehow you're looked at as less than, when all those things is wrapped up in capitalism. All of it. Who determines what music is good? Who do these people, what do they look like? What do they listen to? What is their interest? Because there is an interest in everything. Creating the marker of what is good enough, there is always somebody's personal interest invested in that. It's never approached as in an objective way. It's always about the bottom line. It's always about money. Always. Who do I have to please with this list so that they, come to my business? Who do I have to play on this radio station so that I can get some ad revenue? Like, it's all a game. It's all rigged. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain, the Wiz from the Wizard of Oz. Exactly. Exactly. Feed your inner chef. Same thing in the culinary industry world. I imagine, like the way my mom taught me how to cook is wrong, that part. Ooh, this part, right? So I follow someone, she's a nutritionist, black nutritionist. I forget her name. Excuse me, I can't remember her name. Forgive me. But when I find it, I'll post it. But I think she's from West Africa, somewhere from the continent. And so basically when she came here, everybody was telling her that if you eat jollof rice, if you eat rice and peas or whatever it is, that it's not good enough, right? That somehow this is less than food. This is beneath me, right? And even in the nutrition industry, they're taught to teach us, black folks, that the food that we eat is bad, right? And so even when you look at things like plantains or you look at avocados, these are all cultural foods. And at some point they were demonized because they weren't a part of the white plate, right? And so now, oh my God, avocados a superfood. Oh my goodness. What is it? What are the seeds that have protein in it? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But rice and peas do the same thing. It's protein. Like, what's the difference except that somehow white people decided, oh, now avocados are in. Now rice and peas, I guess it's okay because now it's protein, right? And so she's on a mission to decolonize your plate. Is that her name on Instagram? Decolonize your plate? Either way, she's amazing. So yes. But I believe this. I truly believe this. Black folks have been cooking for generations. Ain't no way you finna tell me that black folks can't cook. I'm sorry. You're just not. I have gone to a lot of restaurants, a lot of A1 restaurants. My aunt can throw down better than all of them. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? And she's not taught in the kitchen. She's taught like from generations. And so somehow that invalidates our experiences and the knowledge that we have with our hands-on experience of making food. Just like those people who like, oh yeah, I don't measure stuff. I just know, right? That is an art. And that is practice. That is ours. I think about music in that way where I was like, oh, maybe I'm not a legit artist because I didn't go to school to study music. But I have been studying music, right? When I listen to music, when I look at the lyrics, when I research artists, this is what they do in school. When I survey a class, the exact same thing that I'm doing in my personal life with music that I actually enjoy, right? Except no one's telling you what music to listen to. It's the same thing. So why is my experience invalidated? Because some learned professor told me who got their degree from somebody else that I'm not valid? We do the same thing. And again, I'm not knocking the certifications. I'm not knocking the degrees. Go for it. Do it. Especially like in this world, you need it, right? But don't doubt your own greatness because somebody is unwilling to degree you or give you, I don't know what they give chefs, a hat. Like, I'm not sure. I'm really asking. I don't know. But like whatever they're telling you is the marker, you could have surpassed that, but they're just not letting you do it. You feel me? Auntie Lou says they either look down on street artists or they pluck one street artist to be a token for entertainment. I 100% agree. 100% agree. Remember that banana taped to the wall that sold for crazy money? No. Did that happen? That's wild. That's crazy. New York Times bestseller. We know what you mean. Okay, New York Times bestseller. What did I say before? My bad, y'all. Y'all knew what I was talking about. Sorry. Yes, their chosen one, exactly. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Jess. Don't get me started on mumble rap. When I was around when rap hit first, okay, first of all, I can't even imagine, right? You being there for the birth of rap and then what it is now. Listen, I know I'm sorry, y'all. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't like it. That's just my personal taste. I'm not saying you can't make your mumble rap go off, but for me, it's just not my taste. I don't. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we got around the payola nonsense. I think my aunt wrote a book in 2019 to 2020. I copy edited. That's awesome. Yay. Shout out to your aunt. Please share it here if we can support her. That's dope. That's amazing. That's awesome. But yes, please share it. Yep. The way they present French food with the teensy tiny servings and it's not, I'm sorry, y'all. Words are kicking my behind today. Substantive. Nope. At all. I know what you mean though. That was cute to look at. Now, where's the real entree? Okay. Can I tell you, I don't get fine dining. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Why am I so hungry and I paid hundreds of dollars? I get it. Some people eat. And my husband actually talked about this before. English is not on my side today, y'all. But my husband talked about this before about how privilege is, like how privileged it is to be able to eat for taste. Like literally you're eating for taste as opposed to eating for nutrition. And I never thought of it that way, right? Like when we eat, folks who lived in impoverished areas, they're not eating like, yeah, they're going to make it taste good, but they're not eating for taste. They're eating for substance. You know what I'm saying? Like they're trying to eat for nutrition, even though it's probably not good, but they're eating to be full as opposed to like, oh, let me take my little taste. And that's privilege to that, to be able to literally play with your food. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, anywho, like how can certain people even make rules and laws and make it seem as we can't? Exactly. The society definitely curates who is the best. All the greats come from Europe. Hello. For the most part, even though there were greats doing phenomenal work during the same time and before. Absolutely, 100% agree. And it's all giving whiteness, white supremacy. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Like you're holding whiteness, everything that comes from white people in high regard, and everything else is lesser than, right? Everything else is lesser than. Like art can't exist without it. Like they have to create the marker and the standard. It's whack. Oh, I see what that art was trying to do here. Yes. I'd be like, I don't see it, but go off. Y'all go off. Oh, Jessica, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're so generous. Shout out to Jessica. She's in the Patreon family. I appreciate that. That really means a lot to me. Alfine, Natalie, please correct me if I'm wrong. My first stream, I'm glad that you're here. Yay. Glad you're here too. As an educator, no recess past 6th grade. Total BS. I 100% agree because in 12th grade, I wanted recess. You need time. But they're training us to be workers. So that's why we ain't got no recess. Thank you for saying it. Read The Scam of College. I could write a whole dissertation on that. Me too. Me too. I'm still trying to work through my trauma with college. I had a professor tell me that, so high class hustlers basically. Absolutely. Exactly. It's all a hustle. It's a game. And I get it. If you have the power, I'm going to get back to the college thing in a second. But if you have the power to control everything and even what people think of themselves, one, I wouldn't do that because that's trash. But these people have literally come up off of the backs of other people. So they don't know anything else. They don't know anything else but to exclude people. That's all they know. And that's whack. That sucks. But yes, for college, my last class as a senior, my teacher told me that my, what do you call those? Resumes. What is words? Okay. Words today. But that my resume would never get me hired. Meanwhile, I had a couple of jobs, right? And I got a couple of jobs with that resume. So I told my professor this, actually, this is the same resume that I used. And then we had like a mock interview session where people came from different professions to come and interview you and give you tips and tricks on how to get hired. Meanwhile, all 3 of those people wanted to hire me because I have been working. At the time I graduated, I was 27, I believe, 27. So I had been working. I had multiple jobs, right? I had interviewed before. I knew what these employers were looking for. I did my research, and she still failed me. So, I mean, it's all a lie. It's all a lie. Former GT kid turned teacher. I hate GT programs so much. Oh, gifted and talented. Yeah, it's rough. Hey, welcome. Carla T says, yes, look at the entertainment industry. How do some even make it that big if it were not rigged? So much better talent than what they show us and make celebrity. Absolutely. Agreed. Agreed. I'll be looking at some people, and again, I'm not one to question people's talent or art because art is subjective. I will be, fair to say that. Also, like even gangster rap, like I have to give it its props because people, all they're doing is telling a story. If that's the story of their life and they're not faking it, I ain't got no problem with it. Like you can tell your story through your art in whatever way you want to. I just probably won't listen because I don't like violence. I don't like brutality. I don't like none of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my taste. I was in Paris and hung outside of the Louvre and for some pics, but had absolutely no desire to go in and look at all that overhyped gobbledygook. Call me whatever. Listen, I'm not judging you. You went there for the gram. I get it. And you left. I am all for that. I am all for not seeing things all the way through. It's okay. If you just want to go to take the picture and go home, I'm for it. You don't have to suffer through to try to be cultured or good enough or legitimate. Like, it's legitimate because you wanted to go. I'm down with that. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, if you give anything, I'm grateful. Thank you so much for being here. Barbara says, well, I don't care what someone says about abstract art. One line in a painting worth $250,000 wouldn't buy it. Give me great looking paintings. Absolutely. Y'all, I can talk. I can read. Okay. I'm just having a rough time right now. I competed in my state's Miss USA pageant, and I can also speak to you about how rigged all that also is. I believe you. Young and naive me thought they were really looking for stand-up female community leaders. Yeah, I listen, I get it. There was like 1 year where all these like black folks won. And I thought that was kind of, I was grateful. I was happy because they deserved, they were gorgeous. They were fine. They were phenomenal. Right. That aside, I was like, is this political? It's giving politics. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, what's happening? Right. And though I am grateful, it just makes me sad that these people have to compete in the system anyway. You know what I mean? But shout out to them. They're amazing. And shout out to you. White people can be mediocre because they have their privilege to fall back on. Absolutely. 100% agree. We don't have that privilege to be mediocre. We can't be mediocre blacks. Mediocre indigenous folks. Mediocre, whatever. Like, we don't have that privilege. We have to be extraordinary. Eurocentric gaze, and that's exactly what it is. Thank you. Eurocentric gaze dismisses indigenous art as primitive speak, while European art is respected. Stonehenge equals white applause versus the pyramids equals white speculation that aliens rather than Africans built them. Enough said. I can't even add nothing to that. The Williams sister received hate because they slid past white rich gatekeepers. 100%. And that's why, listen, I'm proud of my folks. I really am. But sometimes I just wish they didn't have to compete in these things because they will never be enough. You can win all these awards, all these championships. Look at how they demonize Serena already, right? Like, when she stands up for herself and demands what she's worth, when she demands there be a fair game, that someone's cheating, things like that, she's hailed as like, oh, she's bitter, she's extra, she's throwing a fit. But white men playing tennis can break their rackets and it's fine. I thought this was a gentleman's sport. Even that is an elitist term. Moving on. I thank you for your thoughts. I thank you for the truth. I thank you for the way those lives gives us the blues. Yeah, absolutely. Corporate America further destroyed what little creativity I had back in the early 2000s. I'm getting it back now. That's good. I'm grateful that you are, because corporate America, again, this idea that like if it doesn't make money, it doesn't make sense. That is all corporate America is. I tried. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in pleasing the people, and I get it. Maybe that's a privileged thing to say. But I just can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not going to fake who I am. you know. But also the fact that those folks are the same people snatching up indigenous arts from various cultures worldwide. This is what I was going to say earlier. Shout out to you and someone else. But when we're talking about like indigenous art, right? Indigenous art. So what I've realized is that there is a difference between appreciating art and wanting to own it because that makes you feel powerful, that makes you feel elite. Like even the way that people talk about indigenous art it's almost like you're going to a zoo and you're looking at it from a lens that is like, oh, like these people are not human. This is like, oh my God, I'm so high level thinking because I own this art, but y'all stole that art from people. Let's start there. You stole it. You don't respect it. You don't understand the spiritual connection to it. You have no right to own this art. And so I look at some art museums and I'm like, like, where'd you get this from? Who'd you get this from? You know what I'm saying? Quinoa. That's what it was. Thank you. Quinoa. But like, who did you get this from? And why are you looking at this thing like, give it back to those people? And to me, what I really believe is like, especially with indigenous things, everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Pre-colonization, everything is spiritual to those people. And when you take an artifact, when you take something sacred from folks and you put it behind a glass box for people to come and look at it and come observe, it's something disrespectful about that to me. Like, I'm grateful I get to learn about history. I'm grateful I get to peek into how culture was or how culture is in some places. But to me, there's something sick about people wanting to own and what is the word? Own and there's a word, dominate. It's like a dominating spirit, right? That you want to own everything because y'all ain't got no culture. Or your culture is that of violence. It is that of theft. It is that of graping and pillaging. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so you have, nobody wants to come to your museum. And so like you have to create your own culture. And so you decide to surround yourself with culture that don't even belong to you. When I went to the opening of, and this was like the first few months of the opening, I wasn't at the opening, but at the beginning of basically the Black Museum in DC, the new one, the National History of African American, we just say the African American Museum. That's what I say. When they opened it, it really bothered me. Even though I don't know if I had the right to feel bothered, but it really bothered me by how many white people were in that place. And it was so crowded. It was so crowded. And so the way that the museum works is that you walk in the bottom and you start in one side is like Africa, one side is somewhere in Europe. And then you come together during like the transatlantic slave trade, right? And so then you walk through a slave ship and you can hear the stories, you can see the shackles. Like it's really sobering and it's heartbreaking, right? And it's supposed to be, right? You're supposed to feel that heaviness, that weight. And what bothered me was all these white people in there, really close to me, filled to the brim, like looking at things really close up and like, you know, with their little spectacles. And I know it sounds bad, but it bothered me. It bothered me deeply because I'm like, this is my history. This is my people's history. This is how I got here. And you're looking at it from an outsider, even if they had all good intentions, it still bothered me because it was like the opening week and I just wanted our people to be able to come and see our history without having to be like, when I tell you it was packed, it was packed. This is pre-COVID, obviously, but it was packed. And I could see that for some people, this was just like, oh, this is interesting. Wow. Look at what they went through. Oh my goodness. Right. Where we're still feeling the effects of all this stuff right now. Like not much has changed. Not much time has passed. Right. And even the exhibits on like the top floors are from this century. You feel me? So it's like, anyway, I have thoughts. I can go on and on and on and on. Yeah, white people gentrified oxtails and now they're super expensive to buy here in New York City. I believe it. That's what they will do. They will say it's not good enough and then wrap it up and sell it right back to you. It's insulting. It's such hypocrisy because the classical greats that they love so much didn't go to college or train professionally. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how you're only legitimate if you get a degree, but none of these people studied in college? They just made stuff. They just created. Of course, some people like studied under people, like as, you know, like mentorship and things like that. But for the most part, like these people found their own sound, their own way. One thing I love is jazz musicians. My favorite class in college was a jazz class. Learning about improvisational music, learning about how this music came to be, learning about the people. And like, they literally, a lot of them came from such little to nothing. They created their own guitars, they made their own stuff, and now they're hailed. Now I'm in school studying them, right? It's kind of interesting, right? And our teacher was a white man. But he was, to be fair, he gave respect where respect was due, and I had no problem with that. But yes, I think it's really interesting that we make these, now we have all these markers, again, these markers of what is good and what is not, when the people that whose shoulders that we're standing on didn't do the stuff that we did. So anyway, I just finished this book, The Personal Librarian, a story about a black woman who had to pass as white just to work, as JP Morgan's librarian. Her skills were untouchable. Wow. Ooh. For people passing, back in the day, that sounds scary to me. Same here. No mumbo jumbo rap. I'm sorry. I don't like it, y'all. I don't like it. Just Googled, and that banana duct tape wall sold for, that's crazy. I'm doing the wrong thing, y'all. I'm doing the wrong thing. Don't apologize for what you're not into. Yes. My phrase is, I'm not the target audience. That is a better way to say that. I am not the target audience. And that's okay with me. That's okay with me. The more agents, managers, and whatever admin duties that do not add to the creation or distribution of the art directly correlates with how much of a scam said industry is. Yes. They invalidate the self-taught artist because if you are self-taught, it threatens the capitalist agenda of going into debt to pay for college. Talk about it. That's why when people are like, oh, I'm classically trained. It's like, okay, how do you sound? Hi, Tasha. Hi. I stopped watching culinary shows and competitions because all the fine dining is Italian. Speak the truth, right? Like, where is the diversity in the plates? What are we doing, right? But again, because that is fine dining. Yes. But yes, it was quinoa. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you. What's funny now is people are paying black folks hundreds of dollars to be sensitivity readers for books just to get our perspective so that they won't offend black people. Make that money though, blacks. Make that money, black people. And also, can we talk about Crown Act and how we had to legalize our hair? Our hair to the white supremacy is not good enough. So we have to juggle with how to arrange the hair that comes out of our scalp. Speak. Okay, our hair is good enough. And yes, like we've talked about this here. Again, respectability politics, the bonnet conversation, all that stuff, right? Like, but again, yes, we're taught that our hair is unkempt, not professional, which means it's not white. It's not, that's all that means. That's all that language means. It's not white. My hair, how it is today, beyond like me dyeing it, this is how it grows out my scalp. It's curly. It is what it is, right? And a white person can get up in the morning. I've seen this. I went to Towson at a white school. I've seen people get up, throw it in a bun, walk out the door, right? But for me, I had to I got to spend extra time combing it and teasing it and making it look like something because it wouldn't look professional. People wouldn't get it because of the people I was around. So yes, our hair is good enough. My aunt told me when she was in the army, you can only have 2 braids. Excuse me? Okay, listen, I get it. If that was the case, I'm like, okay, then y'all can braid it for me. Because it's not going to, listen, it's not going to look like what you think it's going to look like. That's crazy. Hi, Leah. I hope I'm saying your name right. Leah. Hi, welcome. It is real. I just hate the token. I hate the token wins though. Yeah. You know what time it is? I love the space. Oh, thank you. I love the space too. Y'all are awesome. They consume our art. I watched Candyman the other day in the accuracy. So I've never seen Candyman because I can't watch scary movies because I have a hard time separating reality from fiction based on what I see because I know that I can't see it. But the story behind Candyman, I think I understand, and it's really sad. It's really sad. But I haven't heard about the most recent one. Shaughnessy says, and it makes them feel cool the way people use proximity to this manufactured idea of blackness and black people. They pick it up and put it down. Don't they? What I'm really upset about recently, because there's always something to be upset about or bothered by, is black culture being compared to internet culture now. So black people basically saying, why are you talking with a black accent? You don't talk like that. Why are you using our language? You don't understand it. You're using these phrases. You don't even get it. Like even there was a breakdown of, because people don't believe that AAVE or African American Vernacular English is a real dialect. And it is. It's legitimate. It has rules that we follow, right? So, for example, saying, I be eating at whatever, like at the store, at this restaurant, right? What does that mean? It means that I frequent this place. I tend to eat at this place, right? And so people will try to use our vernacular, and it doesn't make sense because it's not yours, because you don't understand it, right? And so somebody called somebody else out on that, and I've seen like, why are you guys getting so upset about this? This is internet culture. Because everything that Black people do is commodified. Everything is wrapped up and sold back to us, or taken and used. Like, oh my God, I will never forget seeing Kim Kardashian with like Bantu knots on, and they called them mini buns. I'm like, but the girl's been doing this all this time, and y'all called them all types of names, right? Or cornrows, right? Something like boxer braids or something like that. I'm like, please put it down. It's not, what is the Kev on stage meme? It's for Black people anyway. You know what I mean? Like, you look foolish. You look silly because you're literally trying to gentrify our culture. And what's sad is our culture is the only culture where it's okay to spread and it be used as internet culture, internet slang. We're the only, think about it. We're the only culture where it's okay to use and us not be offended. Like, we're looked at it. But if somebody else were to do this from like, I don't know, some other culture, it would be a problem. It'd be an issue. But for us, we're doing too much because we want to gatekeep our culture. Imagine that. And the reason why I think that it is like that is because everything that was Black from the foundation of this country has been for sale, including Black bodies. So it's hard to gatekeep Blackness, Black things, when our very bodies were for sale at the foundation of this country. So literally, this country runs off of Blackness, Black bodies, Black ideas, Black strength, Black work, right? And so, of course, people feel entitled to Black things because it's never been gatekept. It's never been protected, right? Like, I just hope that we start to change that because we don't have to allow people to the cookout. Why are we sending out cookout invites? Why are we doing that? Why? Because you know what? They come to the cookout, they see what we cooking, they see what we're dancing to, and then they make their own thing, and now it's for sale for $2,500. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the cookout that we had was for free. Not saying we should charge for stuff, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. Anywho, I hope what I'm saying is making sense. Okay. I'm adding your recommendation to the personal librarian. Yes, I will read it as well. Yes. Same way I felt when I visited the museum. Yeah. Hi, Monique. Oh, yay. I'm glad that you enjoy the podcast. That makes me happy. And jazz became so whitewashed. That jazz became whitewashed. Country became whitewashed. What else? Rock became whitewashed. Club music is having a whole moment right now with popular culture. But club music never died. It never died. It never went anywhere. Like, club or house music specifically, like warehouse music, never went anywhere. But now all of a sudden it's having a return. And people who have been listening to house, like my husband, for example, is like, it's been here. Baltimore club music, hello. Like, for those of you who are from the area, like house music, like Baltimore club music comes from house music. And Black people, and especially Black queer people specifically, like have been listening to this music. But now, because it's for sale, now it's having a whole thing. And now it's becoming whitewashed and watered down. And it's just, I have thoughts. Yes, I'll never forget when the Civil Rights Museum in Atlanta, and there were white people just strolling by. Meanwhile, I was breaking down crying. Yeah. One of the Black workers had to hold my hand. Yeah. When we went to the museum, I went with my friend, with a couple of friends. I went with my friend Jordan, Deanna, and Ade. And so there was a moment where we were walking through the Civil Rights exhibit. And when I tell you, so they have like a reflection pool area where you can sit and like process what you took in. I sat there and I sobbed. It was just I think it was just like a lot, right? Like, one, it's bad by itself, but also the whole floor, there was like a whole exhibit specifically for lynching, specifically for like blackface and things like that. And so it's so offensive and it's so much, right? And I'm grateful that I went. I'm grateful that I got to express those emotions, but it is very heavy. And for people who live outside of that understanding of what all those things are, they don't get it. They don't understand it. And so they're just like, oh, that's interesting. That's so sad. Okay, well, let me go back to my car and live my white life, right? Where we're watching this stuff because like we're watching it almost like a mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mirror, because like this is a part of our lived experience. So yes, there was like, I think recently Emmett Till's birthday was it today? Was it today? And he would have been 81, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think he would have been 81. And I'm just like, yo, that's young. That wasn't that long ago. Maybe Jordan Peele will make a horror movie about a black person passing for white. Oh God. Honestly, that sounds scary. And I probably won't watch it either. Even Nope came out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch that either. Couldn't watch Us because it was I don't like gore. And I don't like to be scared. So I literally read the Wikipedia explanation of the movie. I'm like, okay, I get it. For the college bit, it depends on what you're studying there. I agree. College for a lot of jobs may not be needed, but there are some where it does apply. I 100% agree. For some things, college is necessary. And it is necessary because they made it necessary, right? So beyond doctors and lawyers and stuff like that, at some point, these programs did not exist. At some point, they actually had like mentorship programs or people you can get under and study. I mean, that is studying, right? I mean, I think, honestly, studying up under somebody might be more effective than sitting in a classroom and listening to people lecture. That's just my opinion. But yeah, that's just my opinion. It's a story we all know, but rarely hear. There will be a whole exhibit about her, at the New York Mergen Museum in the fall of 2024. Oh, that's cool. That's dope. We're the only people whose hair is political. Okay? The only people. And we police each other's hair because we're trying to uphold the system that don't care nothing about us. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. You're enough. You're beautiful. Promise. Even the way white people are allowed to move through all these different art forms with ease, but all these people went crazy over whether or not Old Town Road was really country music. Hello? Country music is ours. We can make it whatever we want to make it. It's okay. It's okay. Because I remember for the CMTs, was it last year, where Monica was supposed to perform? And somebody commented, it was like a commentator, like a newscaster. I don't know these people's names. But they basically said, the commentator said that, oh, well, I don't understand why she's here anyway. Why black people are here in the country music. And I'm just like, so you're not a real country fan then. You couldn't be. You couldn't possibly be a country fan without knowing the history of country. Do you know that we brought over the guitar? Do you know that? Is it like literally, it's amazing to me. It's amazing. Hi. And you're not late. You're on time. You're here. Welcome. I watched Community. She has the book T, and I didn't know how many authors were writing such insensitive content and it being published. Oh, well, I didn't know that either. The book was based in the early 1900s. Sad, but accurately shows that our race should not determine what we can become or how to do it. Absolutely. And again, even this idea of us being inferior, even our idea of what black folks look like, show up as, was not even created by us, right? Like there's a warmth, there's an understanding of black culture that we have as black people. However, even the negative stereotypes that there are about black people, a lot of them don't come from us, right? And so even this idea of like, oh, black people have to work twice as hard to get half as far. It's true because the system exists so that we work twice as hard, right? But also, it also puts this belief in us that we are not enough, that something is missing, that we are flawed, that we have to prove ourselves to these people, when instead we could create our own systems where we don't have to prove anything to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, we would rather do that work than do the work of accepting ourselves and creating a different ecosystem for us to live in completely. And these are ideals, obviously. I know it's not that easy. It's easier said than done, and it takes real work. But I think I'm just like literally divesting from American culture as much as I can, because yes, I am an American. There are things that I've acquired, ways that I do things that are very American, but a lot of it is detrimental to my mental health, to my good, to my well-being, and other people's, right? Even how we look at people, the idea that someone's worth comes from how much money they make, or how much, what their net worth is, right? Very slave-like to me. How people, the manosphere, what is your dress size? What's your weight? How tall are you? It's giving slave block. It's giving, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's like there's so much of slave culture that's embedded in us that I'm really trying to divest from. Not that I ever thought oh, how much do you weigh? Who cares, right? Like, you're worthy. But in this country, in this Western society, your worth is based on what you can do for other people, as opposed to you just being inherently sacred and worthy and a holy individual. You know what I mean? So anywho, And talking about cornrows was Bo Derek braids. First of all, no. Because y'all used to make fun of us with the cornrows now. They made money off of us since enslavement. Absolutely. Absolutely. We should charge outsiders, okay, for the cookout, for all the things. Reparations, no. But for real, like, for real. Sesame Street being whitewashed. Oh, really? How so? The way that I understand it, though, Sesame Street has always been kind of white since, what's his name? Who went to College Park? Jim Henson. Is Jim Henson a part of Sesame Street? Anyway. But yeah. They want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues. Speak. And truth, right? Because being black is cool. We literally create cool. We create culture. We create what is cool. And we do it without effort. Like, we do it by just existing. You know what I mean? But like, of course, they don't want to give credit where credit is due, because then that would, yeah. A lot of thoughts. During my college year, I went to all the iconic house music clubs in New York City. Best time of my life. I am jealous, because that sounds like so much fun. I never understand these cookout invitations. Me neither. Do they invite you to theirs? Do they invite you to theirs? Got to stop being so welcoming to every damn body. Dancing your way to your own slaughter. Ooh, commodification. That's poetic, and that's deep. Wow. That's deep. Because it is true, right? Like, it is true. And for me, and I get it. Like, I understand, like, oh yeah, he's invited to the cookout. I get it. It's a joke. I understand. But a lot of people really do think this way. And I think that's why we get like people like Justin Timberlake, or, you know, other artists who sound black. They sound black because they studied black music. They teamed up with black people because they know that if I team up with this black person, I will be successful. I was watching the BET Awards, and I don't usually do that, but I did this year because we were traveling and we had nothing else to do. So we were watching the BET Awards, and what is his name? There was a white rapper up there, and he performed with Brandy, I believe. And this is the same guy who didn't even know that Brandy and Ray J were related. Y'all know who I'm talking about. But either way. So he performed on the stage, and I was like, this is the Black Entertainment Television Awards. What's happening? Like, what is going on? What is happening? And not that I have a problem with him rapping. I don't have no problem. I'm not even in hip hop culture. So there's that. So let me shut up about that. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, we just got our moment, right? Like, we just got our moment. There are so many different artists that never got a chance to shine. And this person is in front of so many other people who are doing these side shows when they go to commercials, these side stages. And it just shows you like how mediocre you can be to be celebrated. It's sad to me. Anyway, and one other thing for the BET Awards, can I just make a side suggestion? Can we get a house music category? Can we get, you know, I don't know, a rock category? Can we get a country music category? Like, or is it just hip hop? Is BET just hip hop? Or is it like, if we're going to talk about how we create culture, then we should talk about all the cultures we created. Because everything that is here, this popular culture, was made by black people. So can we get those categories or not? Or is it just hip hop? And if that's the case, who owns BET? Who owns their marketing? Who owns their shares? Like, why is there not an interest in actual black culture? Because black culture is more than just this. Those are my thoughts. Okay. Stepping off my soapbox. I love house music, and I'm an 80s baby. So in the 90s, house music was used a lot. Yeah. I like house music too. It's fun. I like it. As an ex-teacher, I have to say education does that to kids. Makes them feel it has to be good or don't try. Yes. One of the reasons why I quit. I'm also an ex-IB kid. Ooh, what's IB? IB? Please tell me what that is. But yeah, it's like schooling teaches you that if you're not good at it, don't do it. If you're not good at it right out the gate, don't do it. You're taught to compare yourself to other people because grades exist. You're taught to please other people's opinions because a lot of the grades that they give is based on their personal opinion anyway. Again, like that example of the resume that I gave in. Girl, I have a job, but you telling me I'm not going to get hired. Make that make sense. Yes, let's bring back and normalize apprenticeships. That's the word. I think that's what you're referring to. Absolutely. Apprenticeships. Absolutely. They turned apprenticeships into meaningless internships. That part. Meaningless and unpaid. Apprenticeships was seen as another form of slavery. Ooh, maybe. Correct us. Get us together. Oh, yes. You remember how they lost it when Beyonce performed her daddy song? Oh, yeah. With that female country band. Oh, my gosh. Yes, I do remember that. And you're welcome. You're welcome, everyone here. You're welcome. Other countries still practicing apprenticeship. to pass down historical craftsmanship. And I'm for that. Like, get up under somebody and learn. You feel me? Like, get up under somebody and learn. That's how I wish we can get certified. And I spelled it wrong. Community Jess Owens on YouTube. Okay, thank you. I'll check it out. Also, bow ties and books. Ooh, that sounds fun. Made a video on author she doesn't follow anymore. Okay, cool. I'll check that out for sure. Sorry, I meant to say the New York Morgan Library and Museum. Okay. Her name was Belle Marion Greener, a.k.a. Belle DaCosta Renee. Okay. Ooh, DaCosta Renee. Today is Emmett. Okay, it's today. Today is Emmett Till's birthday, and his biopic. Is it biopic or biopic? Is set to come out soon. On Sesame Street, seeing that video broke my heart. Oh, Sesame Place. Yes, Sesame Place. The legit, like, yo. And then that weird apology. It wasn't even an apology. It was like, oh, we're gonna do training. No, we want them fired. And why is this culture allowed in your workplace? Why do they feel so comfortable being so disrespectful? There's a deeper issue here. Yeah, Sesame Place. Yes. It's a general sense. Trade school would be the next best. Yes, I agree. Alicia, oof, I hear you on that slave black talk. Lord, I've had it, not interested. Do not recommend on a lot of content because my mental health and self-esteem was shifting. Yes, and same. There are a lot of content creators when I see, they're keywords that I see in titles. I'm like, nope. Do not recommend. No, thank you. And for right now, the algorithm has been doing okay. A few have slipped in. People I've never heard of before, but I'm not interested. I'm not interested on why black men don't want to date black women. Don't care. Not interested. Not interested about why TD Jakes said that black women are masculine. Not interested. Not here for it. And I'm glad that you chose yourself. You know, I hate when they said to you in college, and I think about the same thing they said to Fred Smith. Yeah, he's white, who created FedEx, that his idea wouldn't work, but he's worth billions. Exactly. It's all fake. No worries. A house and rock category. Yes, because we're like, literally, if we create culture, if you say that we do these things, and we should have a category for everything. Also, that segment on voguing, I was like, on like, oh my gosh, ballroom culture. I was like, that could have been done better. Do better. That was bad. And I even fit those insane. Okay, excuse me. Okay, was shifting. And I even fit these insane stats they talk about. Oh no, listen. Those aren't stats. Those are opinions. And those are harmful opinions. Those aren't stats. Those are harmful opinions based in white supremacy. It has no bearing on your worth or your value. So, but please, yes, choose yourself, choose your own mental health, but also understand that these are people who are literally indoctrinated. They're indoctrinated, and we should not be looking to them for any truth, anything. Like, they're unfit. You're beautiful. Jack Harlow, that's his name. Jack Harlow. Yeah, I was like, it's giving a no for me, but okay. They're owned by Viacom. Okay, yes, they're owned by Viacom. So they have an interest in portraying blackness in a very flat way anyway. So I'm asking for too much. I tried to look up IB. I seen it earlier. Would like to know as well. Yeah. Tasha says, Alicia, you're reading my thoughts. Wow, like in my head. Yay! I'm glad. Listen, we on the same page. I stopped watching BET when it was sold to Viacom years ago. Okay, MTV. Okay, that makes sense because I've seen them. I was confused because even on MTV, I saw them advertise something for VH1. I was like, aren't they competitors? But I guess not. I guess they're all the same. Okay, got you. Tasha says, I teach my children that they are not what they produce. Tasha, thank you. But that what they produce is because of who they are. Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. I left being a therapist because of capitalism. And being the token black girl, I will not and cannot. Listen, I totally understand. I get it. I wasn't in therapy, but I was studying to be a therapist. I actually thought about it, but I don't think I don't have the right boundaries in place to be a therapist. But even in it's just really, really interesting because I grew up in PG County. So if you know anything about PG County, it's a very black county. So then I went to school at Towson. It was like culture shock, right? So in my classes, that imposter syndrome set in for a lot of reasons. And a lot of those reasons was because, that was beautiful. A lot of those reasons were because of my white professors, of my white teachers, of the white culture around me, right? About what they prioritized and held in high regard versus what I did. And I felt very out of place. And I felt very like less than. And one of the reasons why, I feel like one of the reasons why I stopped signing and I was trying to be an interpreter, but I really felt like my professors ruined my faith in myself. If I'm being 100% honest. I had dreams of teaching sign language, but you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that because that is their culture, and that would be me being a culture vulture. So I put it down. I was like, I can't teach it. That's fine. So I was like, okay, I'll be an interpreter. And so my professor, this one professor, made me feel like I was not good enough. Maybe the same professor about the resume. Oh Lord, made me feel like I wasn't good enough. She held me back. She told me that I didn't have a future in the interpreting world. She told me that as a professor, and I believed her. And I feel like I'm still working through that self-doubt and imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not good. I'm not good at this. Like, she told me I'm not good at this. She has tenure. She knows what she's talking about. She's been signing for over 30 years, and she told me that I'm not good enough. So I guess I'm not good enough. And then 2 years later, I applied to be in an interpreting program. And so I was signing to the professor, and he's deaf. And so I'm signing to him, talking to him. And I was like, yeah, I think I need to go to ASL 3. I need to go to ASL 3, right? And so the professor was telling me, he's like, you don't need ASL 3. And I was like, yes, I do. My signing is rusty. I'm not good. I don't trust myself, right? And he was like, you're fine. Like, you're good. You're communicating with me. But for some reason, I could not see that I was good enough because of me being indoctrinated by this professor telling me that I'm not good enough. I believed her. I believed her for so many years, and it stopped me from pursuing what I really wanted to pursue because I wasn't good enough. And I think at some point I am going to go back to school to get my interpreting degree because I do want to interpret. But there is so much fear and trepidation, and there's so much anxiety I have towards applying again because I don't want to be bad. Yo, I'm having a breakthrough moment right here. I'm afraid of applying because I don't want to be bad. It's a lot of work, yes. But I can do hard work. I've proven to myself that I can do hard work, right? But I'm afraid of being the worst person in my class and being a Black woman and what that means. I feel like I'm representing all my Black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do bad in this class. Like, and I know that Black people are like, at least you better not do bad in this class, right? But it's still that pressure. It's pressure. And my teacher was white, and she told me that I was not good enough. And so I started to believe that I wasn't good. And so now I'm trying to get my bearings together. You know what I'm saying? Get my bearings together, get some practice in, watch some videos online. It's really good, like, for, like, it's like the sign for, like, watching, like, taking in something and, like, expressing sign, like, maybe copying what they're doing to get my practice up because I have to get the faith in myself enough to apply. But I haven't applied because I haven't had faith in myself. So that's me. But yes, I love that. I love that, Tasha. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. I will go into my YouTube history and remove dumb videos that I clicked on. Yes, please do. Please. Because literally, I used to watch videos like that, and I'm like, I'm watching it, and I'm like, why am I watching this? Because I'm mad. Now I'm mad. Now my day's ruined. I'm having arguments with my husband, and he's like, I don't agree with anything they're saying, right? Like, not that I'm arguing with him, but he basically was like, why are you watching filth from people who are not qualified to tell you anything about you? So anyway, as a woman born in 1969, I'm ecstatic that I can learn whatever the heck I want to learn using the internet libraries, words of wisdom from my ancestors, and listening. I call it my superpower. I love that. That's beautiful. And what a privileged time we live in. We have access to everything, y'all. Everything. That's why when you're telling me about the person writing the books and need people reading it to see if it's insensitive, it's like, you should know what's insensitive and not. Yikes. Because if you actually interacted with those communities, you would know what's insensitive and what's not. But you don't want to do that. You want to do that work. Okay. Anyway, every once in a while, I will delete my search history, hoping it will reset my algorithm. Yeah. Because, the algorithm will give you whatever you click on because they want money. It's all about money. Whatever you click on, they're getting money from the ads that they play during the videos you watch. And so they're going to keep pushing, oh, you like this filth? Keep watching it. Keep watching it. And I hate watch stuff. And I'm like, why am I making these people's pockets big? I don't like them. But yeah, do what you got to do. Yes, that is beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, yay. Is that the I love you sign? Shout out to you. Yes. Hey, Brandy. Hi, Alicia. I'm glad that I caught you live. Hi, welcome. Imposter syndrome is something that I have been dealing with for a long time. Ooh, how can I resolve that? So We'll get to that in 1 second. Absolutely. I've just heard, I've left my notes. I'm like all the way over here now, but we're going to come back. Yes. Because yes, I'm trying to resolve my own, as you hear, my own imposter syndrome. And I'm sharing as I learn. So it's saddening how many white teachers and professors sabotage the dreams of black students. Absolutely. Because number one, I'm black. And she already sees, I believe that I believe that she was racist. I'm just going to say it full stop. And so I think that she already saw me as less than. And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's not going to validate anything I'm doing. Oh, thank you, Monique. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, man, this conversation sounds great. I'm watching on my cell and my dad called, so I missed half an hour. It's okay. We'll have to watch again and play back. Yeah, it's all good. I'll leave this up. It's crazy. I'm deaf, hard of hearing. Hi, welcome. And had a very similar experience when I went to school for interpreting. Really? See, that's interesting to me. That's whack. That is whack. Hey, that girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Thank you. Yes, I wanted to go to school for linguistics. Ooh, linguistics. Yeah, it's a lot. I love language and I love linguistics, but studying it was rough for me. But yes, anyway, but I couldn't take it because financial aid didn't cover it. Now I feel it's too late to learn a new language. That's not true. It's not true. There's this, and they talk about like neuroplasticity. And again, I'm not a neuroscientist by any means. But they talk about like this idea, like we believe that, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You know, we've all heard that phrase, like, oh, the older you are, the harder it is for you to learn. It's not. Like, it might be, you might have to learn differently, right? You might not be able to learn in the same way that you learned as a child when you're grasping language, when you're trying to understand stuff and put things together. But you're not too old to learn. You're not too old to learn a language. I plan on relearning Spanish. I learned it at some point. I don't know what happened. Shout out to Marcus. We were in Spanish. Were we in Spanish 5? Don't know what happened. Miss Baez. Shout out to Miss Baez. Spanish, ASL, BASL specifically. There are other languages I want to learn, and you should go for it. And just approach it, not like you're trying to be good at it, but just approach it because you want to learn it, right? Like, and so one of the notes I wrote down was, we don't have to approach everything like, oh, I'm not going to be good at this. Because if we start out that way, if we always see the end goal in mind, or the idea of what the end goal is, using air quotes end goal because it doesn't really end, then we will be overwhelmed. If we see where we are right now, if I have not walked in 5 years, walked as in like exercise, and somebody says to me, let's go run a marathon, I'm going to look at them like they're crazy because I am out of shape. I have not run. And if I do run, I will burn myself out and probably injure myself, right? Which will reaffirm the belief that I'm not good enough. But the truth is that it's not that I'm not good enough. It's that I'm not practiced. It's that I haven't given myself a chance to practice this thing, right? So if we approach things knowing like, hey, you know what? I'm here to learn and to learn only, not to be good at it, not to be, you can have the goal to be fluent, and that might come in like 10 years. But if you're still taking every step to try to improve on something, that counts. So I say you should still go learn linguistics. Why not? And you have different resources now. Like maybe you don't get the degree, maybe you can learn online, maybe you can learn from a book. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you can, even for like learning ASL, like they have meetups. I can go to Gallaudet, for example, go to events to hang out with some deaf folk and practice my language, like learn, you know what I'm saying? Like there are different ways that you can learn. It doesn't have to be in the school. You know what I'm saying? So I would say open your mind to like, maybe you don't need to go to school. Maybe you can actually learn it a different way. And if it's the degree that you need for your thing, then that's different, right? Like, but if you're just learning for learning's sake, go for it. Do it. I hope that makes sense. Angela H says, when you embrace the truth that you have everything you need to do anything you want, you'll stop measuring yourself against other people and stop convincing yourself that you aren't good enough. That is for me. Thank you, Angela. Shout out to you. Thank you for sharing that. And that's so true. You have everything you need to do anything you want. I love that. Because yes, I might not have the skills I want right now, right? But I have the ability to gain those skills, right? Like I have the capacity to learn new things. And if I approach life like that, it takes the pressure off and I'll get there when I get there. I love that. Thank you. Yes, practice. Absolutely. Same. I have watched Manosphere videos and then went and argued with my husband too. Yes. He was like, babe, I don't rock with them dudes. Why you got all the smoke for me? Okay, because you're a man, okay? No, but I completely agree. It's like, y'all really think like this? And he's like, I don't think like this. This is crazy. But it's just really disturbing to me that so many men think like this and they don't hear themselves when they're speaking. It's wild. It's wild. Yes, I love that. Thanks, girlie. Spanish, here I come. Yes, do it. Do it. I don't learn Spanish as well. I do. I'm hoping to be able to get to Mexico to learn Spanish. That's my hope. One of the things I learned is that with everything that you do, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. Helps with my anxiety when facing tasks. Are you in my notes? Are you in my notes? Because that's exactly what I was going to say. It doesn't have to be perfect. Put down the need to make things perfect. It's killing you. Like, it's literally killing your dreams. It's killing your desires. It's killing your talent. You're strangling your thing to death because you're like, you have to be perfect. You have to be perfect, right? It just has to exist. Because even someone's idea of what perfect is flawed. Everybody's version of what perfect is different, right? For me, one of the artists I love, Frank Ocean, love his music. Oh my gosh, love his music, right? I think that's perfect. I think what he creates is perfect, but some people don't like him. And does that mean that my taste is bad? Does that mean that he is not a good artist? No, it means that they have different tastes. And instead of, like, if we're chasing everybody's version of what perfect is, even our own, because truth be told, when we reach whatever perfection is for us, it will never be enough. It will never be perfect. We will always find something wrong with what we're doing. We will always find something to improve, something that's like, this is flawed. But the beauty is that there's beauty in being flawed. You're human. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're just supposed to be. And if we operate and lived in a way where we just allowed ourselves to be in whatever form that is, and whatever flawed form that is, yeah, you may have fumbled over that word. Yeah, you may have tried to like sign, that word and it messed up. Like, it doesn't take anything away from your worth and your value. Does that make sense? Those ignorant ninjas got us wanting to throw bows with our perfectly lovely, dignified men in our lives. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, I plan on moving to Mexico in the next year and a half. I'm tired of the U.S. Me too. I'm actually hoping to go on a scouting trip to Playa del Carmen, Mexico City. These are things I'm thinking about. So, and my husband is down, so I'm grateful because the U.S. can kick rocks. That's how I feel. What's the other good line? Something like, "Don't let perfect be the enemy of good." Yeah. I think what I've heard is like, what is it? Good is the enemy of. It'll come to me in a second. Or be the enemy of done. Some good one-liners out there for us recovering perfectionists. Absolutely. And let me tell you something about perfectionism, right? Perfectionism, one, there's no such thing as perfect, right? But perfectionism is a way to procrastinate. What it really means is that you're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of failing. You're afraid of making yourself vulnerable because perfection doesn't exist, right? And if we know that, then how can we be perfectionists, right? Being a perfectionist takes us off the hook. It takes us off the hook from having to do, because like, oh, it's not perfect. I can't put it out there. I can't let y'all see it because it's not perfect. It'll never be perfect. It'll never be perfect. It'll never be perfect. Artists will tell you this, that like, and we talked about this in Black Girl Creative, but artists will tell you that when they're painting, at some point, they're like, it's done. We're finished, right? But there's always something more that you can do. And if you tell yourself the lie that you're just waiting for something to be perfect, you will never put out anything. You will never do anything. You will never share anything. But my goal from now on is not to be perfect, but to be prolific. Shout out to my husband. To be prolific, meaning my goal, my success is not buried in how well something does. My success is tied to whether or not I show up. And if I show up, I am successful. That's my new measure for myself of success. It's not about what people say. It's not about the grade. It's not about the money. It's not about none of that, right? Like, my success is showing up and doing my part, because that's all I can control anyway. I can control how people will look at something. I can control how much money I make from something. I can control whether or not I am successful by somebody else's standards. But if I determine what success is for me, if I say, if I show up, that is a success. That's a win. Then I win. If I say I want to try this thing and I try this thing, that's a win. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be hard. It could be, you know what? I showed up to the Spanish class and I took it. and I'm successful because I did that thing. Like we can treat ourselves so much kinder. And I feel like that's the key to like living a better life, is not being so rough with ourselves. So like these boxes, I have to do it this way. So rigid. That's what I'm looking for. Rigid. When we flow and when we leave room for more or different, or yeah, I might not have gotten it that time, but whatever. There's always tomorrow, Lord willing, right? And if not, then it doesn't matter anyway. Like there's always tomorrow. There's always going to be a different chance. And so if I don't put everything in this one moment to be perfect, then that frees me. That frees me to be able to do a lot of things and do it imperfectly. And again, if I approach everything like an experiment, if I approach everything like I'm not good at it anyway, then it takes the pressure off of myself, because I have been pressured my whole life to be good. And that has not done anything well for me. Okay. Nothing good. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yay. I can't see you're nodding or if you're like, no, that doesn't make sense, but I hope that it makes sense. Oh yes. Guadalajara. Awesome. Yes. Cause listen, we out. Oh, that's good. I have to write that on a sticky note, place it where I can see it. Absolutely. And again, I'm saying this to you. I'm not talking from a perfect place. I'm still struggling with these ideas. I'm still struggling with believing that I am enough. I'm still struggling with imposter syndrome. But what I'm trying to do is, even in spite of me feeling like I am not enough, I am not good enough, there's somebody better than me, or I had success but it's a fluke, I'm trying to walk into a place in my life where I'm like, I am worthy of good things. I am worthy of being supported. I never said that I was perfect. I never said that I was a professional. I never said that I was going to be flawless. I never said that. So why am I putting that pressure on myself? Whose standard am I basing my goodness and worth on? And where did I get that idea from? Because it's not from me. When I was a child, you couldn't tell me anything. I'm perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm good. I'm free. Me drawing on this paper with my pen, it's like, oh, a masterpiece, right? Like when you're a child, you're free, right? But at some point, somebody taught you that was not enough, that you were not enough. And so I had to figure out who told me that. Where did I get that from? That's not true. What is the truth? I am inherently worthy and valuable. My value and my worth does not change based on what other people think of me, based on how well something I do does, based on whether or not something fails or not. I'm not a failure. I am lovely. I am everything, right? Like, I am worthy. And I have to hold on to that truth with like both hands, like squeezing it with both hands, because something every day will try to rip it away from you. Something every day. We're being sold that we are imperfect. Shout out to like people who wear makeup. This is not a knock on you at all. But like even the commercials that we're watching. You want to lose weight? Here, wear this makeup to be sexy. Ooh, you need this, right? We're being sold that we are not enough. We're being sold that we're not enough because capitalism, this version of capitalism, thrives off of us feeling like we're not enough. They win. When we feel like we're enough, you can't shake me. You can't shake us. And that does not benefit them. Whoever them is, right? The corporations, the government, doesn't matter. Like, so we have to hold on to our value because the world will keep telling us that we are not enough. And they win. But it's time that you win. You know what I mean? Ooh, I heard someone say that perfectionism is a trauma response. And is. So true for me. And what I've experienced in childhood. Not sure if people can relate, but it resonated when I heard it. No, I relate to that. Because again, growing up in the talented and gifted program, you can't be bad. You can't get bad grades. You have to be good. People have to approve of you. And again, I grew up as a people pleaser. So you match that with perfectionism, please. Like, it's a prison. So I definitely resonate with that. It is a trauma response. And it's almost like you're trying to earn your worth. You're trying to make yourself valid, but you are already valid. Like they've taught you a lie that you have to earn your worth and your value, right? But you are inherently valuable. Sadly, though, in this country, people who do not have anything to offer as far as money, as far as connections, clout, fame, right? They're looked at as less than. You are not important. You are not valuable, right? But again, that's this version of capitalism, of Western society. And again, I think it all goes back to slavery because at the end of the day, your worth was tied up in how productive you were and how pleased other people were, right? Like your worth and your value was wrapped up in how strong you were and how fertile you were, right? Like all these things. And we're still carrying around those those things that don't belong to us. And they're ruining our lives. And they're pushing us to treat people like trash because they have nothing of value to offer us, even though their life is an offering in itself, right? Like someone's life is a miracle. And we have the nerve to be like, oh, they're not worth anything. And you are? Anywho, I feel very passionately about how people treat people. So yeah, I've been looking at Puebla and cities surrounding Mexico City. Ooh, I gotta check that out. I gotta do more research on that too. I can relate to that. Yeah, me too. You're not alone. You're not alone. I'm sorry that your professor discouraged you. A high school teacher, black guy, told me the same thing. If I had listened to him, I wouldn't have gone to college or law school. Yeah, negate that nonsense. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because these are just mere people. Obviously, when you're in school, you think that these people have all the answers, that they are like the end all be all, that they are like, you know, professionals in their career. But some of these people are just flexing on students to make them feel bad. Like some people really have like a God complex and they just want people to feel less than. It's not every teacher, obviously. Some teachers are really out there doing their thing. But yeah, it's just their opinions. And sometimes their opinions just not true for you. And that's okay because they're human. They're not perfect. But yes, absolutely. And I'm sorry that happened. I'm really sorry that happened. And I'm glad that you still went. Yes. Watching walking tours of cities in Mexico helps me relax. Ooh, that sounds relaxing. You can see what's going on the street level. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, this is why I have to remind myself because it does stop me from sharing sometimes and it's not helpful. Yeah, me too. Even with posting videos, going live, right? It's like, oh, I don't know. Is it not? Who cares? Girl, who cares? I read The Artist's Way. Wow, thanks to you. And the author wrote, the artist's job is to be the channel for God to create through. Artists take care of the quantity. God takes care of the quality. Absolutely. And as you're talking about that, I have The Artist's Way right here. Yay. And I'm actually going to go through this book with Black Girl Creative. So if you want to check it out, please do. We're going to relaunch in August. And so every first and third Thursday, we'll meet together to work through The Artist's Way because I think it's a phenomenal book. So yeah, anywho, shout out to The Artist's Way. Shout out to Julia Cameron. Yes. R. Howard says it meant a lot if you kept this live up. Oh yeah, absolutely. I need to revisit and layer this message. Absolutely. I'll leave it up for sure. Yes. Puebla. I have to look that up too because I haven't. Go Angela H. Yes. Cheers. But yeah, okay. So as we wrap up, so as Black folks, we know that we've been told you got to be twice as good to get half as far, right? And so believing that, understanding that idea, you're already indoctrinated with this belief that you are not good enough. Right? And so hopefully if and when we have kids, I don't know if we going whatever, who knows? But if we have children, I don't want to tell them that because it's going to tell them that they are inherently not enough. What I want to teach them is that if they can't see your value, screw them and move on, right? Or create your own system in which you and your brothers and sisters can thrive. Like, I don't believe that people have to halfway kill themselves to be able to be successful, right? Like, people are literally breaking their bodies down, destroying their neighbor, destroying themselves just to be successful under this oppressive system. What if we choose to operate outside of the system? And yes, it is hard. Yes, it is work. But for me, it's worth it. It's worth it. So let's see. I had notes. Yes, algorithms. Just like posting. I wrote this, so it's random. Algorithms are racist because people are racist, right? So the people that create them are racist. And so in my mind, even when I was posting videos, I'm like, why is this not, or like some of the other creators I follow, why are they not having a lot of followers like their white counterparts talking about the same thing? They're way more interesting. They're way more artful, like what's going on. And then I had to realize, oh, the algorithm, duh, it's going to favor the people who created it. You know what I'm saying? So there are so many things in our lives. And the reason why I bring that up is because we think like, oh, I'm not good enough. It's not good enough because it's not getting X, Y, and Z. It's not getting the reach that it should get. All these other things, right? But really, the system is set up for you to fail. The system is set up for only some people to win. And so you have to keep going in spite of that thing. You cannot look at your oppressor and beg them for acceptance and understanding. Like, we have to have and hold on to that thing by ourselves. You know what I mean? Because if you don't play their game, you don't win. But if you choose not to play their game, of course it's going to be different. It's going to be harder, but it's going to be worth it. you know? Okay. So yes, we're good enough already. These are the closing notes. We're good enough already. All right. And they already know that. That's the thing. They already know that, which is why they have to create these systems to keep us out. These systems would not exist if they were not trying to gatekeep. They're trying to keep us out because they know that we are worth it. They know that we are worth it. They know that we are worthy. They know that we are talented. They know that we're gifted, right? But they create these systems and all these hurdles for us to jump over to keep us or deter us from coming in, because now you need more money to why do you need money to apply for a college application? Why? That doesn't make sense to me. Why? Like the SATs in itself, the SATs, research it, is racist, is classist. Like these things were set in place to keep people out, because the truth is that we were always worthy. You were already worthy. And no success, no failure, nothing can take away from that. From that. And you're not here to prove to anybody. You're not here to expel any energy into trying to convince people of your worth and your value. That's a waste of time and energy. I have spent so many years trying to do that. Convince people of my worth and my value. And all that did was teach me that I am not worthy and valuable. Isn't that funny how that works? You spend all this energy. I am worthy. Look at what I'm doing. Look at who I am. Look at I love you. Like I'm worthy. And then they're rejecting me the whole time. And then my self-esteem is lowering because I'm making myself low to try to get somebody to love me when I should have just loved myself. You know what I'm saying? So in the end, they win. All this convincing and all this energy you're expelling, you could be putting that energy into yourself, into loving yourself, into loving your thing. Putting all that energy into bettering whatever you're trying to better, into learning, into experimenting, into having fun. Instead of trying to convince people who will never love you, never like you, never accept you, right? To accept you for a seat at the table. And even if you get a seat at that table, right? They will resent you. They will hate you. They will give you crumbs when you deserve a meal. And you could build your own table, feed yourself and feed other people. You don't have to operate within the system. Like, obviously, we have to survive. So you have to operate within the system some ways, but not in every way. And your worth and your value does not come from people who oppressed you. Does not come from the elites. Does not come from your professor, from your spouse, from your parents. It don't come from none of that. You are inherently valuable and worthy. You got to hold on to that. So that's all I have for this evening. Okay, great. You'll be there for Black Girl Creative. Yay. Awesome. I don't know why we listen to what other people say about us. It means nothing. Exactly why I started following you and your husband when I figured out I wanted to live on the road full time. Oh, yay. Thank y'all. Awesome. And what I will say is I do care what people think about me, right? But I care about what right people think about me, right? So for example, I talked about this before. I don't think there's anything wrong with caring what other people think about you, because we're human, we're communal. We want to belong. We want to belong, right? I was going to say we're tribal, but we are communal people. And so I get it. We want people to accept us, but make sure it's the right people that you're trying to treat well. Because the thing is, if I didn't care about what anybody thinks of me, I'd be out here offending people, hurting people, harming myself, right? But because I care about what other people think, it allows me to be a good friend, a good wife, a good, cousin, whatever, like however I'm relating to people. So that is important. But I'm not trying to please people who are set to dislike me, disown me, to harm me, right? People who look down on me. I don't need to care about what they think. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. But I am interested in making sure that I am loving my people, right? And showing up in a way that is honoring them and myself. That's the difference. Discerning who is important to please, or who is important to care about. But a lot of us are caring about the wrong people. The wrong folks. Yay, awesome. I'll see you there. But yeah, I'm glad that y'all got something from this. I hope these are good responses. Yes. Thank you, Alicia, and everyone in the chat. Yes, this was a really good conversation. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. Y'all literally make this space. So thank you. Love yourself. Who can do it better? That part. There was a time where I was so frustrated. I was dating, and this is what I'll close with. I was dating, and I was so frustrated. Like, why won't people love me correctly, right? And then at some point I had to look at myself and say, am I loving myself correctly? Because why am I subjecting myself to all these people who cannot and will not love me correctly? There's something wrong, right? And it's not saying that I was worthy of being mistreated, because I wasn't. They was trash. But at the same time, it's like, no, like, I want to become the love of my life. I want to become the love of my life. Even if I am partnered, even if I am married, even if I am somebody's, mother at some point, right? I want to become the love of my life because I know myself. And sometimes loving yourself is harder than loving other people. That's what it was like for me. It was very hard to love myself. Very easy for me to love other people. So people who say you can't love other people if you don't love yourself, I don't know if I agree that. I agree with that, because I spent a lot of time exerting all this energy, loving other people, because I was unwilling and unable, and it was hard to love myself. You know what I'm saying? Because you know yourself. You know your flaws. You know the things you think. You know your failures, right? For the other people we're in relationship with, it's easier to love them for me, right? Because I know my flaws. The hard work is in loving myself. And when I love myself, I feel like that's when life becomes good. Despite when I love myself, I know what I'm worth, and I won't put up with anything less than that. When I'm dating and I know my worth, you will not, you will respect me. Period. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, anywho, hope that makes sense. Because I agree with you. Who can do it better? Who can love yourself more than you? And I was gonna add like an asterisk, but no, like, who can love yourself better than you? You're with you 24/7. You're the only person you spend the most time with. Who can love yourself better than you? You are a worthy investment, and you're worthy of that love that you give other people. Thank you. Thank you so much, Powerful Majesty. That's sweet. Thank you. Likewise, been a pleasure connecting with you all. Thanks so much for this needed message and reminder, Alicia. You're welcome. Thank you, because I need this reminder as well. I did. This was a whole word. Thank you for this live. Thank y'all for being here. Seriously. Y'all been speaking to me too. Tasha, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, the right people. Absolutely. The right people. The right people. Because the right people will not make you work, like to work for your worth. Okay. If you're around the right people, you will not be questioning your value. You will not be questioning your value around the right people. Excuse me. The wrong people will have you questioning your value, questioning your worth, your beauty, your talent, all these things. Those are the wrong people to hang around with. Those are wrong people. The right people will affirm you and love you. Yay! I love your emojis, Jess. I love them. Yay! Thank you, baby. Yes, absolutely. Jamal says, please like and share if you enjoyed the stream. Yes, please do. It helps me out. All the love and support is greatly appreciated. Yes, it really does help me out with the algorithm and all these other things. So thank y'all so much for being here. I hope it's monetized. Maybe it won't be, because I said some things that might have been controversial, but that's okay, because I meant what I said. So thank y'all so much for being here. I hope that you have a lovely evening. It is 9:00. It's dinner time. Mark is going to drag me because he's always talking about me eating late, but it's 9:00. But I hope that you got something from this, and I hope that you continue to love yourself, to see yourself as worthy. Like, do what you need to do to remind yourself of your worth and your value, and that it doesn't come from mere human beings. Mere human beings cannot give you worth. They can't give you worth. They're mere human beings. Okay? So yes. Yes, the right people is key. Absolutely. OMG, I hope you're feeling better. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, yeah. What's wrong? What's going on? I'm good. But yes. So yes, Alicia's words and rant so good. Yes, we ranted a lot today, but I felt good. This was great. I'm happy to be back. Just so you all know, there'll be a new streaming schedule. Hopefully I'll be able to keep up with it. It is on first and third Mondays. I'm going to be live here just to be able to manage things better, so I'm not overwhelmed, taking care of my mental and physical health. But I'm happy to be here. So I will be here next Monday, I think, because I think that's the first Monday of August, and then the third one. So I will see you all on that Monday. And until next time, y'all, enjoy your evening. Thank you for being here. I love y'all. And thank you so much for your support. All the people who donated, all the people who wanted to but couldn't. I see y'all too. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you all in the next stream. Oh, no, we did not just get spammed. Block. block. Okay. Right as we were wrapping up. But anyway, have a good evening, y'all. Love y'all. Love yourself. Love yourself. Get to know yourself. Spend time with yourself and love yourself. Have a great night, everybody. Oh, no worries. You can watch the replay. No worries. All right, y'all. Bye. Yes, it's time to go. Time to roll out. Bye, y'all.